Okay, we're live on YouTube. Somebody said they have no image but sound. Anybody else having that issue? Sometimes I think we had that problem also once in our group. Those who came in late, they didn't see. So you may want to log off and log on back if you have a problem with image. Okay, guys, good afternoon to all of you. Good afternoon to the YouTube viewers also. We're now logging in. We still have like 2 more minutes before we start. Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to the weekly outlook. Let's start. We are on for a couple of minutes in YouTube, so I hope that wouldn't affect those who will be viewing it. Next time we'll probably try to start it a little later, so we don't have that couple of minutes quiet in the YouTube video. Okay, so let's start. So let's start with the one that most people think didn't work. And I got a lot of questions from this, like what happened to the euro? Why didn't it go up? And did the pattern change? Is it going to be going down now? So let me show you something that we have seen before. Not that this pattern is not new. We have seen this pattern. I'm going to show you this pattern exactly in the euro, right? Remember I said we have one, we have one, we have one. We're making a correction here. We're likely expecting this to come back here and then go down, right? That was what we were expecting, and it actually came down. So what happened? Did that change the structure? Not exactly. And if I ask all of you a question now, what are the chances of euro stopping right here and go back up here? How many of you think that that is possible before we get it down move? How many of you think euro could stop right here and go right back up there? Let's get some yes if you're one of the person who think that is possible. Just give me a why. So not very many, right? So I'll say about 10 of you only, right? 10, 12 of you think so. So let me just show you. We don't have to guess, right? Remember, I always said this is not a guesswork. Wave analysis has nothing to do with guessing. So we're going to go on the daily, and I'm going to show you something. I'm going to take a copy of this so you can learn something, especially for the few trollers who are trying to educate you, telling you should be careful. Which let me just remove this, delete that. Let me take it to the bigger example so you'll see. I'll take it from the top, and then I'll take it up to this top. Why I'm taking that? Because I want to show you the reversal point. So I'm going to squeeze this, and we'll open this one, or go to the 4 hour. The 4 hour will give us a better view of that. So let's go to the 4 hour now and take this and put it here. We'll have to put this size because this is a daily and that one is from the 4 hour. So we'll have to change the size just to see the pattern. I'll put it back here. I'll have to make it smaller. I just want it to fit a little more up. and put it here. Good. A little down, we'll get it now. I think we got an idea. You're coming down, you make one, you make a sharp one, you make that correction. I want you to see this flat. See that flat in there? See that sharp move on the pound that started to go up at the under daily, sorry, that started to go up and then it dropped. It dropped beyond the low. And look what happened. Before we are going down now, right? We know we are going down, right? But can this thing stop right here and go back up before it goes? See? That's the power of knowledge. That's the power of understanding. Now, is it going to repeat the same pattern? The question is now, okay, some problem with videos, let me see. Restart and still no video. Okay, give me 1 second. I'll stop sharing and start sharing again. Okay, can you guys see it now? Those who weren't seeing it, can you see it now? Give me a yes. Great. So sound is okay, picture is okay, right? One person has picture and no sound. So everybody is okay, right? So let's go. Remember what I tell you about wave analysis. It's not a guesswork. You're not guessing what it's going to do. You have to see a specific pattern, and then that pattern tells you what it's going to do. So why were we thinking this is going to go up? Because more of these patterns are regular flats that would come here, go back down, probably come here and then go. That would be a very complex B wave regular pattern. Breaking down, surprise? Not exactly, but not that I thought that it would do that, because I did not expect this one to repeat the exact pattern they make there, which is we're looking for a running flat. And in this case, it might be an expanding flat, because in the daily, this was an expanding flat. So if you would go back to probably, I don't know, this date when we were going up, and you would listen to that webinar when this happened, I said, we didn't think that the correction is over. And the reason we didn't think that correction was over, because we cannot take that for a B wave. That does not fit the characteristic of a B wave, which means that is only part of an 1, 2, 3. And we have to go back to complete this pattern. And very likely when it was here, I was warning you that there is a chance that they may go one more up, but the bigger picture might be to the downside to retest that low. So for some traders, and this is especially for new traders who really don't understand that this is a complex something and not a simple something. As one guy said, he always gives you 3 ways, and that is not true. I give you 2 ways, 1 up, 1 down, because I don't know where he got the third one from. The chart is either going to go up or it's going to go down. So I don't give you 3, I give you 2, right? Just make sure you correct that part. If you're one of the trolls there, you probably totally miss it. Now, what is the whole function of having 1 or 2 options? What does that mean? So again, let's go back to this. I'm telling you there's a possibility based on that pattern that this thing will go back up here, retest this top, and then drop. Maybe not. Maybe just come here as a running flat and then drop. Or it could go from here. So the very simplistic trader who doesn't want to think is going to say, well, he give you 2 options. It could go up and it could go down. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you're going to trade it, you have to be aware of the possibilities of what it's going to do. So what would be your trade setup? Should you buy it or should you sell it from here? No, neither. You should not be buying it and you should not be selling it. That's what I'm saying to you. Don't sell it here, because selling it here becomes dangerous. You also don't have a reason to buy it as yet. But could you get a reason to buy it and sell it? Sure. You just have to wait for that specific pattern to say sell. And if you're following me for a year now, you would know what that specific pattern that sells means. We sell. You get a flag, you buy. You get a flag, you buy. You get a flag, you get a, well, this is more of a correction here. You get a flag, you buy. You get a flag, you buy. You get a flag, you buy. Right? It's the same here. Same would be for the sell. As a matter of fact, some of my traders sold it. If you go down to the lower time frame and you see there were opportunities to sell it, go to the 15, and I can show you one of the places we had a good opportunity to sell it. One was here and one was here. So if you look at the forecast that I gave you and you said, okay, he says very likely up, but we didn't think it was going to go down, but you see a flag there and you see a flag here, that's a good sell. If you're following what we were doing and you understand, in our trading room, those are sell setups that you could have taken if you understand what trading is about. Well, now you got to be careful. Same here. What you want to see? You want to see another consolidation. And this one, I would want to be even a little bigger than that, because if it's a small one there, you're only going to go that much. You get another small one, you're going to go that much. But if you get a deeper correction, like you would probably get here, you get a deeper correction like that, then likely you're going to look for downside. So what was your buy setup here? Did you get a buy? You needed 1, you need 2, you need this to come back here, then go break out. This was your buy setup. And that didn't happen. So did I buy euro? No. Did I lose anything? No. Did I care that it go down? No. That's not my problem. And that's what trading is about. You make the forecast, you look for the analysis, and then you wait for that setup. And if it doesn't happen, you're not in the trade. If it happens, you should. If this took off to the upside, you should be in that trade, because that is your winning trade. If it falls, then you can reanalyze the chart. You can look at what it's doing now. You can look at whether you have a setup for a sell, and then decide whether you want to sell it. Because not because you have a setup, you will sell it. If I get a 1-hour setup in the euro, I may not sell it, because that might just be a 1 hour. If I get a 4-hour setup, well, yes, I'll be selling it. If I get a 4-hour correction, I will definitely sell, because that is confirming downside for me. If I get a 1-hour setup for the buy, if it comes here and it's giving me a little 1-hour flag here, I would definitely buy it. That's a 100% trade for me. I will take that trade. Any day, anytime, I'll take that trade. Why? Because I know there's a possibility to retest that top. Now, would it go retest the top? I don't know. But that trade will likely give me a break-even trade. So because if it makes one more impulse up, and stop right here and decide to go down, I'll get a break-even trade and I'll be selling it from here. Because that would most likely be a 4-hour correction if that happens. Right? No, this is not a zigzag pattern. This is just a complex B wave that might be either running or expanding flat. As far as we're looking, I just showed you the pattern, so why guess? See, that's the thing. I just showed you exactly what that pattern is doing and how, and that's when we consider an expanding flat. You don't have to guess what it is. You look at it and then and we knew that one. When this one was going on, the same thing I told my traders. And if you go back, you would see, guys, I don't like this pattern that's being completed. I don't like this to be a contracting flat. It doesn't fit for a contracting flat. If that was a contracting flat, this one would be going down. It didn't. It just broke the low and turned. We were pretty sure we didn't like that to be a B wave. It's not fitting the characters of B wave. If that was a B wave, then this is what? Was it all of these? The B wave cannot be the strongest among them. It could be part of a B wave, which is what we thought it was, and so far it's right. So, especially okay, let's don't go there. I was going to answer to some of those comments, but it doesn't make sense. So let's move on. For those who want to learn, for those of you who think that this thing would help you and you want to really learn, because whatever else you're doing is not making sense and you're not making money, then this is what you need to do. Right? Trading is not easy. Nobody said it's easy. It's complex. It's a very complex thing. It's very difficult. It's not that easy. If you think it's easy, then you're in the wrong profession, right? So wait for that setup. If you get the sell setup, you take it. If you don't get it, you don't take it. So what would be your trade for this week? If this becomes a 1-hour flag, you can take the sell. You got to move it to break even. If it becomes a 4-hour correction, you definitely want to sell it. If you get a 1-hour buy for upside, which means you get an impulse here, and they make a 1-hour flag here, you can take that trade, put it to break even. It makes another 1-hour flag, take it, put it to break even. Starts to correct deeper, you can trade it up. That will confirm the upside. It makes one here, pull back, make another one there, pull back like this, do this. Well, you're looking for downside. And that would be big. That would be a good trade because that would be a longer term downside. I would confirm that they're going down, and whatever we have, there is some kind of a pattern that I haven't seen as yet, but I still don't think that is the B wave. I'm still not confirming this as the B wave. And this is not, it's not a contracting flat, and it's definitely not a triangle. It's absolutely not a triangle, right? We know that because we've seen these patterns before. I just showed you one, and I can show you a number of them that actually repeated that the same way. Let's wait and see. That would be your trade, right? Wait, and if you get it set up, you take the trade. If you don't, then just leave it alone. Dollar index. Remember what we said? This one is, I think last week it was still at the top. We were expecting it to come back, break the low, and then go. Well, it didn't break the low. This is okay. That fits for a contracting flat. That has everything we think it does for a contracting flat, and it goes up. Perfect, perfect. That's it. You don't get them like that every time, right? Sometimes you get them to be more complex. But this one fits perfect. What you're going to do at the top there, let's see what we can do there now from the 4 hour. You can still buy, but you have to be careful now, right? There's a lot of, it's some weaknesses showing in the chart here. You got to be careful with that. If you get a correction here on a 4 hour, that will confirm more upside like this. For example, if you get a 1 hour flag, it's one little piece more. That means it's a very small trade. Another 1 hour will be a small. Every 1 hour flag you get will be one small trade to the upside, because we don't think this is going to, this is the big move going now, right? Remember the daily, we said it could still go up. I showed you guys on the daily, right? That there's a possibility we are repeating the 1, 2, 3 pattern, like on the weekly chart. If you go back in the webinar that I did during the week, I showed you that possibility. So this coming up here is normal. We expect that to happen. That's not new to us. That's not something we're not expecting. The possibility from where is it going? Is this all the correction we're going? Very possible. So what you're going to do, every flag you get, you'll take the trade. But if it starts to correct deep, because it could still make a deeper correction, right? To figure out whether this whole pattern is complete here and we're going up, you'll get flags, you'll take trade, you'll get flags, you'll take trade. If they do make a deeper correction, which means if euro goes back up, this could come back all the way to the bottom here and then go. That means we'll relook at this whole structure, and that is a possibility. So what's your trade? Buy or sell? Your trade is to wait for whichever setups you get. As it stands right now, both of those possibilities are very possible. Not all of them will have it, but some of them do have that possibility. There are trades when it's only one direction. You don't have to worry about it. Just trade. Boom. Like I said, if you're going to sell this had a run. Let me show you one of the patterns we sold actually in this. We sold in the break of this low. That was a call we made. Well, why? Because we got a little expanding flat there. It dropped through, consolidate. That's your sell setup. That's a small trade. If you get another small trade here, you can take it and take profit. Take profit out of this one, take profit out of this one. It could always turn. That the mere fact that they break out of this structure, which is what we're waiting to see, that they break out of the structure, that is not what they're doing. And what we have is a running flat here, right? We can look at this whole piece as a running flat, or we can look at this two possible corrective structures in there. Doesn't make a difference. Now, could this be going down more? Definitely. What you want to confirm that downside is a longer term downside, which means we're going to test the daily low. We're going to test the daily low, right? So are we going to test this daily low now? Well, you need a bigger correction here. You need something like that there. And if we get a correction like that, then this one would definitely be a drop, a small one, a drop, a small one, a drop. So unless you get that bigger one, you take every trade you take on the hourly has to be taking profit out. So you take the trade, it goes, it starts to correct, you take out your profit. Because any of those correction could be a bigger correction to the upside and then the downside. See? That is how you have to trade, but you still have to know which pattern. You're just not making an assumption it's going to go up or an assumption it's going to go down. The assumption has to be based on what pattern you will be looking for, right? What pattern are you really looking for in there? If you understand what pattern you're looking for, then you know whether you think it's going to go up or down. Same thing. Remember, this was going up and they thought it's going to go to heaven. I was like, no, it's going to come back. Now it's coming back. I don't see those guys, or those guys changed their tone now. They're totally different. They're not saying, oh, he said the pound is going to come down. Look, it came down there. Like, oh, what did he say? We don't know what he said. Well, I'll show you. When I show you my account, I'll show you which. I actually look at the stats today, and the trade, the pair that is making me much more profit than any pair is the pound dollar. Right? If you look at all the pairs that are really making me profit, pound dollar is making me more profit than any other pair. CAD, I'm actually losing in the euro yen. I'm losing in a few of them, which means the sum total of trades I took in the euro yen is a minus for me. I took some losing trades there. But the sum total of trades in the pound are enormously the biggest profit I have. And remember what they said, that the pound is going to make him lose his account. I'll show them anyway. You'll see that account when it's ready for you to see. And you will see the stats is there. It's not like it's not. I was amazed when I saw it because I didn't think, I never looked at that stats. I didn't think that the pound was my biggest winning trade. Actually, I thought it was a few more other ones that I've been making very good at. But the pound turned out to be the good one. The second biggest loser I'm getting for is on the New Zealand yen, because I took a really crazy trade about 6 months back and that trade is still running minus. 6 months back and it's still running minus. So I'll deal with it later on. I'm not really worried about it. We'll talk about that. So look at this trade. This trade, if it goes back up there, will make you money. If it comes down back, will make you money. If it starts to drop lower, you'll make money. You just have to wait for that setup. So in the 4 hour, I'll want to get a 4 hour consolidation to confirm downside. Anything like this would be good. A 4 hour consolidation like this would be a good confirmation for downside. Even something like this would confirm a downside. See that little consolidation in there will confirm a downside. 1 hour means you're going to get a drop, you're going to get a drop, you're going to get a drop, but they'll have to do this before they go. So wait for it. Aussie. Aussie went back, and remember we said we're not looking at this Aussie, the whole structure is a triangle, and it's still not a triangle, right? So we can look at it as a contracting flat. 1, 1, 2, 3, and this actually fits for a contracting flat. Not a triangle. It looks like a triangle, it's not a triangle. And here's the difference between that being a triangle and it's not a triangle. As of now, you can look at that as a contracting flat, which means you'll be absolutely correct if this makes a consolidation and drop. What would make the difference of it being a triangle and a contracting flat? Because if it's a triangle, it definitely has to go down. If we look at that part for now as a contracting flat, what we were expecting is that we could be wrong about the contracting flat, and this could be the pattern. 1, 2, 3. This is your contracting flat here. Or you look at the whole structure. 1, 1, 2, 3 here. Come back this one. So you get 1, 2, 3 for a B wave. Come back for a C wave and then go down. The contracting flat leaves that possibility open. Triangle means you have to go down. And I don't think it's definitely going down. This one was a sell. This one was good sell because we actually saw that. I think I showed you when this was coming very sharp. This was in the live webinar, right? We did during the week. That there's a good possibility this is going to go down. We tried to trade this here. From that point, we took it off during the news, and then it actually falls. So some of my traders who were there would probably get it. Watch for this. If this consolidates here, we're going to get more drop. If it consolidates here, it's going to drop more. Wait for the consolidation, wait for the breakout, then take the trade. Right? Wait for the trade. If it doesn't, because this could be a turning point. And you could get a retest of the top before they go down. They're definitely going down. Remember, a few weeks back, I said you need a 4 hour consolidation when this consolidation started here. When this little one started to this up move, I was like, that cannot be enough. We want the consolidation like this. Well, we actually got something like that with a possibility that this could still come back here and then drop. So that is why if you're going to sell here, you got to really get a good setup to sell. Because if you don't, they can come back all the way to this top and then start to drop. You would still have a good pattern like that. Let me show you a pattern like that at the top here. Pretty much very simple, right? Look at this. See this one? This entire piece here. You got a 1, 2, 3 in the middle. They still go back at the top there before they drop. So that's one big running flat. This one goes back at the top there and drop. You'll get another big running flat here. This piece looks very much like a B wave, if you ask me. I'm right now we're taking that as a possible contracting flat, but with the possibility that that could turn into a bigger B wave and then you go down and down. That's how patterns work. You have to know the patterns. That's the whole thing. It's like knowing what you're looking for and what are the next possibilities in this thing and how you would trade it if it behaves one way or the other. New Zealand. Same. This one was pretty easy, right? So you look at this, what do you think? What is doing? It actually made a very nice pattern in there and then it dropped. So let me just show you that pattern so you can see it. New Zealand still has the possible upside, right? Well, I'll show you why. So we're looking at this pattern here. It made one down, and then it made 1, 2, 3 up, and it came down and it broke the low there. See that? We're looking for one more up to test the top there, give us a flat, and then drop. Go up, didn't test the top, you can always sell from here. Once they broke that structure, we got a contracting flat there and you can sell here. Now, daily, if you look at the daily, we still haven't completed one daily pattern. So the daily pattern is still incomplete. And the mere fact that this goes down a little more doesn't mean anything. Remember the Euro Aus. This is an incomplete correction. So this one comes down, it comes down, it can go some more. The lower this go means the lower the chances of you coming back high. You're probably just going to do this and go. You're just going to drop to that level, go back up and then go. So this still possible exists. Now that doesn't mean you stop selling. That means you sell, but you sell with care. So every time you get a correction, you sell. you take the trade off. If you sold this, you should take profit off, right? And take that off. If you sold that, you take profit. If you get another flag here to sell, another correction here to sell, you sell it, it comes here, you take profit. You get another one to sell, you sell it, takes profit, because at any point they can start to go to the upside. Why? Because there's an incomplete pattern. If this was totally downside like the daily from here, like this one, let me show you which one. Like this one, when it completes itself at the top, that was total downside because you had a complete pattern here. You had, look, this. By the way, this might be a good example also. You had 1, 2, 3. You had 1, 2, 3. That completes a big structure. You're at the top. That is their drop. That's a long-term trade. See this one? We're more something like that in here, and it drops. So we haven't completed that. And this one also, 1, 2, 3. If you look at it, right? If you look at the big picture, let me see if I can bring it. You have one correction up and you have a short one down. You have one correction up, but you have a longer one down. We still need that pattern and we still need this. So we still need this one up to complete it. And then this one down to finish it. Right? It has to happen, because if it doesn't happen, if you think that it's falling, you want to jump in the sell, you're literally going to get yourself in a lot of trouble. That doesn't mean you stop selling. Just keep watching the patterns to see what they're doing. Yen, 4 hour. So we broke the low, and that means that if you break this low, there's a good chance you're actually going to make one more down. First, I still expect this to go back up, at least retest the top, and then the downside. It doesn't have to test the top because we broke the low. So it could come anywhere in here and then drop. I'm expecting this to happen, because if it goes up from here, we'll have a problem. This not supposed to break the low of the impulse before it goes. So this would not, if that break of the low is there, then we're definitely going to get one more down before we go up. So you can watch for this trade. I still think this trade is very possible. It might be a shorter move up, not necessarily testing the top, but then you are going to get a trade from there to the downside. You have to have one more impulse like this. So let's see if we get that. But this trade breakout would be a very good trade. If you get a breakout here, that'd be a very good trade. So keep your eyes for that breakout. It's likely going to break out, and then you can get a trade here, take profit. Right? CAD. Same here. Remember I said I left these there because I told you you have to go back up? We did this no matter what it looks like. Actually, I could tell you when I told you it's going to go back up, when this one started to fall crazily, right? Remember that? We were in the webinar when that was going down. I was like, don't worry about that. It still has to go back up because you have an incomplete pattern, which means we have not seen a pattern like that whereby they just drop it. So what it's telling me that when the market did that 100 times previously, it actually went back. It doesn't matter that it fell, because what you're saying is that if you go back and you look at these patterns and you see this here and you see that 100 times, 99 of them went up. That's what when I said it still has to go back up, that's what I'm trying to tell you. That if you go back and you search 100 of those patterns, 99 of the times they still go back up. So we can go back and I'll show you about 6 of them because we don't have time for 100. But I'll show you about 6 of them and I'll show you what they did. 1, 2, 3, look. 1, 2, 3. This dropped, it still went back. Here's a smaller version of the same thing. It still fall. Here's a smaller version of the same thing. It's the same thing you're looking at. And every time they do that, you're saying, okay, every time you get that, what happened? See, that's trading. So what do? You wait for a setup to buy it. And if you're waiting for a setup to buy it, you would get one. If you're waiting for a setup to sell it, you wouldn't have it. And that's no problem. If you still want to sell it, let's say you still want to sell it and you're waiting for a sell setup and it didn't happen, no big deal. You're just not in the trade. And not in the trade is sometimes a good thing for most of you. Because most of all of us, sometimes not being in a trade is a good thing because that was a losing trade, right? It's better sometimes not to be in the trade because it's a losing trade rather than to be in the trade. So we've got a perfect flat in here. 1, 2, 3. And now it can go up. You got a consolidation, look for a buy. This is a one-way direction, look for a buy. And it's likely going to break this stop. So you may want to keep that buy or move your stops into getting to that top. Swiss, 4 hour. Remember when this happened and it broke the top? We said we were looking for them to come back and most likely even break that low and then go back up. Well, they broke the B wave structure, but they haven't come very low. So I'm a little skeptical whether this is the running flat, because it becomes a very small one if you put that as a running flat. It actually fits everything you need for a running flat, but not necessarily that it's ended there. So what we'll be looking for here is this piece here. Is this kind of a consolidation for upside? Well, then on the break of that top, you'll probably get a setup for a buy. If they're going to come back to retest the low, you might not really get a sell, because based on what I see in the 1 hour, there isn't a sell setup there. It's more likely like a buy setup, right? If they're going to come back to retest the low once more, retest this low, make a bigger running flat, and then go back up. And it will go back up because you're consolidating at the top there, right? Whether you get this one more drop or not is a little iffish. So if you do get a 1 hour trade here, if you get a 1 hour trade set up there, then you take it to break this low, take the profit, and stay out of the trade until it turns. Because on the daily, we are consolidating for upside, right? That's a daily consolidation for upside. I don't have to go show you how many of those are there, right? So this is a daily, it could still come here, tag this low, and then go, or they could take off from there. So if you get a buy here, take it. If you get a sell, you got to take it, take profit off, and then look for the upside, right? Sometimes they become more complex like this one, right? But I don't see that one becoming more complex as it stands right now, right? This one, 1, 2, 3, and then they go back and then they come, you got a complex B wave there, and then they go up, right? So not expecting this to be that complex. It's more of a simple one. Watch it for one more down and then up. Or if you get a buy setup from where it is, take the trade, right? If you get a buy setup from where it is right here, a buy setup will probably come on the break. I still see this possible coming down some more. This is too short, come down some more, maybe make some consolidation here, and then give you a breakout. If they stay within this zone and then break out, that's a buy. You'll get a buy trade, right? Silver, nothing. Didn't go anywhere. You got one. You got 1, 2, 3. This one did not break the top. It should have broken the top and then go. Well, it didn't break the top and they're going. So we will make an assumption that's a contracting flat. And now we can confirm that it's a contracting flat because you have another flat here. See that? You got 1, 2, and this one is likely going to go tag that 270 where you're supposed to have your buy entry, right? You're supposed to have a buy somewhere at 14.90. Well, they're likely going to go there. We can look at this now as a complete contracting flat, this piece here. 1, 2, 3. It didn't break the top, but you have an impulse and a correction here, so I'll go with this going down. Look for sell setups, at least short term to about the 490, right? We have that 490 entry order there, right? You can put it at 15 if you want. Gold, very similar. Made one up, made one down, made a lot of noise here, come back here. So you got a complete B wave there. And we went up. We didn't break the top here again. This would have been perfect, break the top and then turn, right? That would have been a perfect flat pattern, but it didn't break the top. So is it turning? The silver has a very nice correction in there for downside. Gold does not have it. So that means we'll have to look in the 15 to see. Still not anything. It's small, but if you get a 15 minutes flag here like this one, see this one? If you get a 15-minute flag here, I would say take the sell to this level, put it to break even and let it break through. This would be a perfect contracting flat. 1, 2, 3. You can see those small ones, right? Not something you're supposed to see, but if you can see them, right? So this would be a good sell setup too, because if silver fall, most likely this one might get one more fall. One more downside at least. Euro Oz. This one is perfect, nothing new, look for a sell. If it stays in the consolidation, ignore it, but once they break out of this consolidation, you got an impulse going very nice. So take the trade. This one is one direction. We're not looking for opposite direction. Now, could it go opposite direction? That is only if it consolidates more in here. I don't see it as turning around. There's no turning around here as yet. EuroCAD. This one was a little surprise because I didn't think they were going to make that sharp move and come back lower. We did have a sharp move here to fit with that, but we weren't looking at that exactly because I thought there's a good chance they can go back up higher, right? There was a very good chance this one could go back up higher, which means that because of that big consolidation in there, right? which means that unless they break out of this totally, we're not negating that. And even if they break it, we're not negating that. So watch here for reversals. If you start getting a reversal, you can come back to that level. Watch for this trade. It's very, very possible, especially from where it is right now. So what would be your sell setup? If you don't get that trade, which means if you don't get the buy, which I think is very likely, I would want to see this make a consolidation here before you sell. Don't try to sell it here. Even though at 1 hour, it might not be a very good trade. You want to see a consolidation. Remember, we think CAD could go up, and we think Euro might either make a consolidation for a move down or will even make a very big move up. And if that starts to happen, you want to look for this trade. So focus on the Euro CAD for the possibility of both CAD and Euro going up at the same time. Now, don't tell me that will not happen because of correlation or whatever. That's nonsense. It has happened many times before, and it could happen again. And I could show you many times where CAD and Euro go up in the same direction. Right? So watch for the trade. Euro New Zealand. This one, nothing new. We've been saying this pattern is going to break out, tag the top. They broke out, they tagged the top. And it was easy because we had this one. 1, 2, 3. This had to go up, consolidate, go out, tag the top. The question is, are we reversing from that point? Right? They broke the top, so can it reverse now? You have to look at the bigger picture and see, well, what pattern we have. Do we have a pattern that says they could reverse? Right? Do we have something that says it could reverse? Maybe, maybe not. We still have a lot to that top, and we're still going up. See, this was a big one of its own, a contracting flat there. I think all of you can see it now. And you got this. We got this. We got a flat there. So there's a chance it could still probably climb some more. And we will watch it to see. I think there's going to be one more down here. I don't see this one actually taking off as the impulse. Originally, we thought that was the impulse, by the way. This one is interesting. Let me see if I can find the chart. If I can find the chart, it would be amazing for some of you to see. I think it was in the 4 hour or in the daily. Let me see, daily, weekly, or 4 hour. It has to be one of them. It has to be in the daily or the weekly. That up move coming. Come on. Let me see. Let me go back to the weekly and see if it's there. I don't know if those don't show up anymore. They're supposed to show up of this one. Daily. Come on. Strange. But if you go on TradingView, you will find this chart. You'll find something like this. Actually, from like this. And you'll find something like that. Right? Look for that big move. I think that move I actually wrote 3,003 pips, right? If all 3,003 or 5,005, let me measure it. I'll tell you how much I wrote. Yeah, 3,003 pips. I think all of you know when I posted that chart, right? Remember the 1,001 pips free giveaway? When somebody is giving away 1,001, then I said, you want some more crazy stuff? That's crazy, right? So I decided, if you want to go crazy, let's go crazy. You got a 3,003 pips coming here. Mine was more accurate than you getting a 1,001 pip from those guys, right? At least if you were trading this, you probably would have got 3,003. You can't, because it's not that easy. You don't trade and keep it, right? You wouldn't take that and keep it to that level, especially with a correction like this and a correction like that. But just to show you, right? Patterns do work. So the same thing here. I don't think this one is going to go very far. It could go somewhere. I could see possible here and then come back. You'll get another big move. We'll be in some kind of a three-wave correction here. So let's look and see whether we have a move there from to the upside. Right now, it's not showing that it's going up very strong. Right? It's actually showing downside. So if they give you a flag here, if they give you a consolidation here, take it, sell and take profit. Don't keep it because it's not showing us long-term downside as yet. It possible could turn from there and go down, but we don't have any confirmation as yet. So, but you will take this sell. If they go back up, if this thing goes back up as sharp as it's going up there, well, you don't have a buy setup. It has to come back. Probably you'll get a number of one here and then you'll take off. You'll have to have a number of corrections if you're getting only sharp waves before it goes. Because those sharp waves would have to come together to make some kind of pattern. They will not just go up on one sharp wave. If you do get a correction here, 1 hour flag, then you can take this trade only and then watch it to go back down. So the buy right now might be a little more dangerous than the sell because you will stay in the consolidation for the buy, but the sell, you're definitely going to get a good trade. Euro Swiss. I think this one was the easiest of them all, right? Once we broke out and we started to make that big one, we said, if they break here, you're definitely going, because that is all the correction. We're no longer looking for an expanding flat or so here. So this one, I think, is definitely going to go more. And you're going to watch this pattern, because I'm going to show you a number of patterns like these, right? Watch this pattern here. There's a chance it could break when it gets here, or we might just make one more. I don't see one more in this structure. Right? I don't see one more there. It's possible they could break, because this is coming pretty sharp. Immediately, I'm going to show you the pound Swiss. So we'll skip the pound Swiss when we go down. So let me show you the pound Swiss. And this was the forecast we made. Pound. Where's the pound Swiss? Oh, pound Swiss is at the top here. Remember I said you have to sell this. It's going to break. Remember when I was saying, look for sells here, look for sells here, look for sells here, look for sells there, when it went back a little more. And don't worry, you're in a flat. You're still coming down, right? You have to look for sells, look for sells, look for sells. You're still coming down. That's it. That's the confidence I was telling you guys with, right? And to show you that forecast was made where? Somewhere in here, right? I think all of you have seen it. That forecast, I don't know why it's not here. I think it's in some other chart, maybe the weekly. Let me see if it's on the weekly. What happened to all the signals for my forecast? They all disappeared. I don't know. I can't see any. They're supposed to be here. Right? You can find that when it's there also, right? So let me show you something like that, why we made that forecast. See this pattern there, drop. See this correction, drop. See that drop. Where I didn't thought they would make such a big one. I thought they would just make a small one and drop, but made a bigger one. Did that make the forecast not valid? No. It just means you have to have patience, because even while it was going up here, I keep telling you it has to come back and break the low. It just has to do it. That's how if you understand how the market behaves, that's how it behaves. Because what they were doing here were not telling me that they're going to go up. Whatever I saw here did not tell me that, hey, this thing is going to go up now. It's going up a little, so it's going to be a big move to the upside. No, it didn't. Not at one single moment in any of my webinar did I tell you that this thing is going to go back up. I told you, watch for the downside. Watch for the downside, because the downside is coming. See? Did it happen? Well, let's go back to the daily now. We're in the downside. Watch it at this level, because there's still that chance for one more up. I don't see that possibility in this one as well. I don't see this going up one more, but it's likely. We will know that very soon. You don't have to, you don't have to chase the chart to know whether it's going to go down or not. If you trade it to this level, you got to be careful. Even if it's going to go down, right? Remember after this correction, they did go. So even if it's going to go down, you're probably going to get a correction like this. Some kind of a correction you might get here before it drops. So or they might break a little and then make the correction. But you normally, when they're breaking out of a structure, they will make some kind of a correction, right? It's clearing the structure. It has nothing to do with the trend line. So it doesn't happen on the trend line, in the trend line, under the trend. It could happen anywhere. But after you've got to move like this, with a very small correction, you at least want a bigger correction here to continue, to prove the next big move down, right? So they're just not going to move without making that correction, without making some kind of an accumulation there before they go. So watch for that possibility. You might get some trades up, you might get some trades down, depending on what it's going to do, right? Yeah, possible one more up for a triple flat. I don't want to go into the patterns themselves in detail, but that is what that possibility says. It could happen. So let's go back. We were in the Euro Swiss, right? Let's go back. Euro Swiss, Euro Yen. This one also broke lower than we expected, because we were looking for this possibility. Let me just show you. We're looking for 1, 2, 3, and then go back up before they come. Well, they came down, actually. You could have seen that. It's a small trade, but it turned out to be bigger than expected. So the good questions are we going down now? So let's look at a bigger pattern to tell you if we're going to totally go down. I don't see this as totally going down. Here again, let me explain this. This is a nice correction, but it's too small to be the entire correction. It cannot be, even if you look at this, when they pull here and they pull there, they pull back, they actually give you a flat looking pattern. They pull there, they go up back, you see they broke the top, they still came back down to make a bigger pattern. This one is a much bigger one. I'm not even going to go into that. It doesn't work that. It doesn't make such a one straight wave and go. So I think this is likely going to either come break the low and then go back up, or we can go back up from there. We're going to make something in here before they fall. Right? It doesn't go in one straight line. If you look at the previous one here, this one didn't go in one straight line. See, this is a pullback very deep before it goes. You got a bigger deep pullback in there before it goes. So I don't see this one going down like that from here. You'll probably have to make a pullback to this level, or breaking the top or break the low and then go back as a running flat and then go. So there is a bigger pattern. So what would be your trade setups? How would you trade this? If you know that, if that's the knowledge you have, then how will you trade? You'll be cautious on the sell, which means every sell setup you get here, you take profit. You get a sell setup, take profit. And if you get a buy setup starting here for the upside, well, then you will trade that to retest it. This could be a longer term trade to retest the top. But in the downside, the trades are shorter trades. It's going down, but you can take trades and you take them in shorter time frame. If it starts to go up, that's it. You got to beg a trade to the upside. That's trading, right? Which one is going to be? Like I said, you might have two options in some trade. If this is an incomplete pattern, it will have two options. Patterns that are complete have only one options, right? Euro pound. Downside, look for the downside. It's going to come tag this top and then go down. It's going to tag that top. Remember when it was in here, it's going to tag the top and go. And I even told you might not get any trade in it because it wasn't moving very smooth for you to get trades. But on the sell, you definitely want to get trades in the sell. What are the chances this thing is going to do this? Look at that. If you get a sell setup here, and I said sell only, if you get a sell setup, take that sell. Any sell setup you get, don't sell it as it is right now. We don't know that they're not going to tag, but they're going to fall. Right? If it goes up a little more, don't go and write stupid comments. See if you get a trade and take it. If you don't, just let it go. Look for the sell. Look for the sell, because can it go up some more? Yeah, but I don't see that. I see a very sharp drop, which means I think that's a nice impulse for sell setups. So I'm saying this and I'm thinking, okay, give me a trade here. If you give me a trade, remember that buy to break the top? If you took that trade, you did well. If you didn't, ignore that and look for this one. Look for that sell. This is a sell you shouldn't miss now, because this will be a long-term trade to the downside. Right? So that's trading. So, I'm just hoping that traders could stop, being a nuisance sometime to themselves, not to us, because that doesn't bother me. I'm trading happily. All my traders are doing well. So, but to themselves and to some new traders who are not educated enough to make a choice of their own, you could be a nuisance to them. So just learn, spend some time learning, or go buy signals. If you don't want to learn, go buy signals and lose your account, because you're going to lose it anyway by paying. I know there's a lot of not my best traders. I can tell you some people just bought my course. They didn't even take the training. They learned a little from it, and now they're selling signals. As a matter of fact, I just got, before I start, someone sent me a link to one of them. I'm not going to say who sent me a link, and I'm not saying what the link is to one of them. And I checked, yes, that person did take my course. He didn't spend long in the group, and he went and he's signal service now. He can't stay in the group because we don't allow selling signals in our group. So he's gone selling signals now. It was funny because he was not one of the best traders we had. Right? And he's gone selling signals. You want to buy signal from him? Go ahead. When you lose your account, you will learn something. It's sad if that's your last money, you're losing your account. And that's a sad story, because all of that stuff you can get for free. If you just search the internet, the stuff you're going to get from him, you can pretty much get for free. Right? And since I don't think he's one of the best traders, I'm not sure you're going to be successful. In any case, it doesn't matter who you buy signals from. Buying signals will never make you successful. That's just a proven fact. Go in the internet and ask how many successful traders buying signals. And you'll probably find one or two, if you find any. And that one or two might be the people who are selling signals telling you they're the successful ones. Because it doesn't happen that way. So this one, I think we did this in depth. We told you that we're looking at this as a possible leading diagonal, possible correction. You're looking for downside. Watch it. They actually tagged the low. And if this makes a correction here, look for one more move to this level. I don't think they have to break the top. And then you can look for downside. Right now, you don't have a sell setup here. This is one sharp wave. That's not a sell setup. You're looking for a buy setup. Tag that top and then down. So this still remains a B wave. See? Pound New Zealand. I think this one was from last week, and it's still the same thing. Pound New Zealand, on the other hand, could give you a buy setup here. You could be looking for a buy, at least to tag this top. Look for one more sell setup, buy setup to tag that top. Right? When they tag the top, then we might go into longer term correction. See, all of these are long-term forecasts. So first we want them to tag the top, and then we want them to come down, right? Because this correction is there. See, they broke it out. We want to tag the top there, and then we'll expect that. I don't expect this to go up. I expect it to come back because we have one impulse, we have this, and we have all of this, which would be still corrective structures, because once they get here, we're still going to go back up. And it's just a very big, complex structure. You don't have to worry about the whole structure. You're just worried about this immediate trade. If you get this, this would be a good buy setup. CAD. Okay. Watch here again. Pull this down. 4 hour. But just like the EuroCAD, we were watching this, and I said every sell has to be short-term, 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 because it's short-term trade. If you get another sell setup, it's short-term. Very soon you'll get a trade like this, and then it'll go down long-term. So you need that. You're in a corrective move. If you remember, I did a webinar on all the pound trades. I think I did one on all the pound trades. Watch for them when they were already breaking the tops. Watch for them to break top and turn. You can go back and find that webinar. It's somewhere. I did it when they were here going up, and we were like, they have to go break the top and then turn, right? Remember that? There was only one of them that didn't break the top when we were looking for the turn. I think that was the CAD, right? Which is why I said you can trade to the upside still, because everything else is turning except for the CAD. Well, it broke the top and it's turning. Now, question, is that a complete pattern? I'll leave you with that question to answer for yourselves. Can this pattern get more complex than is it? Let's see how many of you are learning patterns from free webinars, right? I would not tell you the answer to that. So I'll leave you with that. If you get a sell setup here, sell it. We know the answer to it, but we just want to see how many of you are learning. You might be getting a nice running flat here. You can see it yourself. So watch for probably sell setup if you get them. If they break out, then you have to wait for a correction for upside, right? Possible. Pang Yen. That was a sell. This was a sell, and you're still getting a sell. I think we made this very clear with it. Watch this pattern to come down. That on all the forecasts, right? So watch it down, down, down. You probably get some more downside to this level. Watch it at the 270 there. Watch it around that area there. You might just get some correction, bigger correction there. So you can watch for one more drop here, and then we'll see what happens. Look for a short-term sell setup. That's what you're likely going to get this week. It's consolidating, so you might get a nice short-term sell setup. You're getting some consolidation there. Might just do something like this, and then you can get one more trade here. Aussie Yen. See that pattern? Actually, this was a very long-term trade you should have taken from that top. I think I made that clear to everybody. Got that big, and there's a likely chance you can break out. So look at the Aussie Yen from this structure. You're getting a move down. It's likely going to come down. I don't think they're going to break this low, but you're going to get something like a 1, 2, 3 here. And we might retest the top. Look at this pattern here. See that one? It came down, it went up, it came down back, it went up, it came down back before you get a big one, right? So if you're looking at these two in similar, right? This one, this is 1, 2, 3, they came down, right? But this one is not, this is only 1. I don't see that as all the correction. So I think they're going to probably go back up here. So, but you got sell setups here coming a lot. So for the next couple of weeks, you have a lot of sell setups coming. Just take them. I look for the sell setup. There was a very nice one from the top there. I think very few of my traders got it. I don't know how many of you got that, but that was a perfect sell setup from this top here. And from the break of this, and you might get another one here. It will take some time to consolidate. Give it time to consolidate, and you might get another trade there. Patterns work, right? So watch for this trade. If you're in that one, I told my traders to keep it. If they're in that one, they should keep it. If you want to take profit here, might be a good idea. We take profit and wait for another correction before you go. Aussie CAD. We're looking for a big sell. Remember when this came down, we're looking for the big sell. I think I totally missed it because of this sharp move up. This one dropped, and I didn't expect this to drop because they made that. I thought this one is going to go finish the move and then drop, and it dropped. So now you can get it. Now you can get a chance to buy it. Wait for it to come back. Wait for this to come back, and then we'd look for the big sell. right? Once it comes back into this area here, you start looking for the big sell. You can look for buy setups there, short term, very short term, right? You're going to get some buy setups. Wait for a flag, take the trade. Aussie New Zealand. Well, it didn't break the top, but it's coming down. So the question is, are we making the downside from there, right? Is that the start of the bigger downside now, which would be about how much years now? 4 years in consolidation. So we made 1, 2, 3. We made 1, 2, 3. We made 1, 2. Are we going for the third one now? And if you make this move, remember the Aussie yen has a big move down, right? Aussie New Zealand looks like it has a big move down, right? New Zealand looks like it has a big move up, right? Remember I said New Zealand still has to finish that daily wave. So if this thing starts to come down from here and you get a good setup, trade it, trade it, trade it. You can, they might be bigger pullback, get out the trade again. But once it hits this area here, we're going to be buying. We're all going to be buyers from here, and we're going to be very, very long-term buyers. Right? So watch this. This is going to be a really, really nice trade up when that happens. But you can trade this down. This consolidation is 4 years. I'll show you one more consolidation that took about 3 years and what happened. CAD. I've shown you this a number of times. See this one? This one took 3 years. And look what happened after that. If you're in my group or you're following me in this Aussie New Zealand, we have been tracking this for a long time. So if you stick around here for the next 6 months, maybe to a year, or you join my group for the next 6 months to a year, you're going to get that one. That's almost a guarantee. We're not going to miss that. And we'll probably stay in it and just keep making more trades on the upside because it will happen. Now, here is a good question for you. What will have to happen in the world, I don't know, in Australia or in New Zealand for this to happen? What news event will have to happen for that to happen? I don't know. You don't know. Nobody knows. But there is I can make the assumption that something will happen. Somebody's going to say something if some central bank is going to do, some catastrophe going to happen, some make it, fix it, bricks it, some kind of whatever is going to happen, right? Something will happen to make that move happen. What that something is, you don't have to know because you will never know. Nobody knows. Unless you're a fortune teller, then you can know. But I'm telling you now that what they're doing there now is they're preparing the market for that move. They're preparing the market for that move because I've seen them done it before. The market is getting ready. The people who are going to make that move, the big banks, central banks, or big speculative bank, or whatever you want to say, I don't care who they are. But for that move to happen, it started from here. It started from here, actually, when they made that and they started to do this. This is the message they're sending to us. And they're sending that message to you on all time frames. Not only in the daily, in the 4 hour, and you can see that in a 5 minutes and a 1 minute chart, but you just shouldn't be trading the 1 minute unless you have that experience and you can click trade in and out within an hour, right? You shouldn't be doing it in a 5 minutes because you might not have experience to get out of a trade. A 5 minute impulse might be only 10 pips. A 1 hour impulse might be 60 pips. A 4 hour impulse might be 100 and something pips. A daily impulse like this is going to be a couple thousand pips. That's a weekly one. That's a couple thousand pips you're talking about. So I'm telling you now, I'm making that forecast now. You can take a snapshot and keep it. So a year from now, like remember the Pong one? Nobody believed it until Brexit happened and it was still falling and falling and it's still falling. And then, hey, oh, wow. That guy made a wild guess. No, it's not a wild guess. And this one is not a wild guess. So take a snapshot. You'll keep it. You'll probably remember me. You'll come back in a year and say, damn, man, I wish I'd joined you a year ago, right? I'll probably down my account by now. So you can look for that sell to the downside. Let's go look at it. Wait for consolidation. If you're going to get a sell set up here, wait for them to consolidate. If they consolidate and they start to go, you can get a good trade. Right? Now, is this the end of the B wave? We'll see. If you get the trade, put it to break even, and you'll see. Aussie Swiss. That was a sell setup, take it off. That was a sell order to sell. Let's see what it's doing in the daily. These are very difficult to trade. You don't want to trade them because they're in kind of a sideways consolidation move right now. See, we didn't break that top. This one should break the top, which it didn't do. So it leaves it open for this piece to tell us what this is going to do. You could probably drop some more here, kind of like in that pattern. But there's a good chance if you do that, you're making 1, 2, 3 here. You'll probably come back and then go. This might just turn out to be a bigger correction, right? Because it's not a complete pattern as yet. If this had broken the top there, we'd definitely be calling downside. But it didn't happen, so we have to just wait and see what this is going to do. This one might not be worth trading, so you can stay out of it. Trade ones that are more easy to trade. New Zealand Swiss, same thing. This one dropped. We expect this to go back up to complete that power. It will still happen, except it's going to happen here now. Right? Except it's going to happen there now. But at this point, we actually, from this point here, we saw that it's going to go down some more. And this was a good sell setup. This one was a sell to at least the stop, at least the low, and then you put that to break even. Right? Now, can this go down some more? It will probably consolidate and go, and then you'll get a long drawn out running flat. One of those long drawn out running flats. So if you get sell setup, take it. If you get a sell setup here, take it. Right? You get a sell setup here, which means that they make more consolidation and drop. Take the trade. If you get a reversal and a buy setup, take it to this level and then take profit. Because from that point, it could still go down. It's still in the downside. That was just a correction for upside. Right? That was a correction we were expecting. And that correction still will happen. Right? It's just a matter of time when it's going to happen because now it's a running flat. See? So this is a down move. We didn't expect anything else but a down move. So you got to be careful here now. You got 1, 2, 3. This didn't happen. So you still have to have a move up, one more down, and then you can start to get this up move. See this? You're still going to have an up move there. So you get some more downside here, correction downside, and then you're going to get a bigger up move, right? What's that, Isaac? But Telegram group? I don't have any Telegram group. I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea. I have no Telegram group. I don't know what you mean by that, Isaac. You'll have to leave the questions for later. Don't post questions now. Don't distract. Let's finish, then we're gonna look at it. So watch for this sideways and then some more down, but be careful in the sell because of that move that has to still happen, right? So be careful of that seller. New Zealand CAD. Some more downside, and then we're going to look for an upside. We still don't have, same thing with this. It's not a contracting flat. It's not enough for a contracting flat. So we're probably just going down on a long drawn out B wave. So you're probably going to go down some more. Look for some more downside, then you're going to get the upside. Take sales. If you get a sell setup, take them. It's short term, but take them. Take the trades, take profit. Swiss yen, let's see what you have here. It's kind of going sideways. You might get some up here now, right? It's kind of going sideways. The bigger picture is downside. This one, the bigger picture here is downside, but there's a chance they're going to go back up here, test the top, and then fall. Right? So if you're selling this, wait for a correction before you sell. If it goes up, you can get a buy to the top, and then we're looking for that down trade there, right? Looking for that to go down. So let's look at it in a 4-hour. There was a break there for a trade. Take that off. It didn't go anywhere. Right? You see that break there? You got a sell setup. It didn't go anywhere. Take it off. Same thing you're going to look for here. Look for this consolidation. If they drop, take the trade. If they start to break this structure, buy it to the top. Wait for a flag and then buy it to the top. Once it breaks the top, take off your money because you're going to get a down trade. The bigger picture is downside. Only one more upside possible. CAD yen. CAD yen definitely has to break that up. So one more upside is still possible. It's still there. They still have to break that up because of the bigger structure, right? It still has to break that up. So even if it comes a little more here, you got to be careful with sells. You're going to go break that up before you come down. You have to complete that pattern. I don't see a contracting flat there. Same thing. Is it a contracting flat? I don't see a contracting flat there as yet. It doesn't look very much like a contracting flat. So I think they're going to go break the top. For sell setups, if you're going to sell this, if you think it's a sell setup, you better wait for a flag. Right? I would wait for this to make a very nice flag here. Unless you get that, don't sell it. If you get that, sell it to the trend line and take profit. I'd sell it to the trend line. Not the trend line is not important as a place where it will stop. It's important for the pattern we're looking at. So if they come to this level and you get that trade, you take it. You want to get out there because from this level, they can still go back up. They have to break this level, and then it's downside. That would be a contracting flat, right? Like the euro, we would call that a contracting flat only when we break out of the structure totally. So if you take your profit here, it breaks to wait for a flag, and then you sell again. Wait for a flag, and then you sell again. That's confirmation, because if you don't, they can reverse from that point, take back all the profit you have, and then you're no longer in profit and you're looking for an upside down trade, right? You may be looking at a loss. CAD Swiss, ignore that. It's not doing anything you should trade. Copper still looks like it's a downside now. One short trade, this one here. You're getting a sell, they break out, they didn't go. You get a short sell here, retest this low, right? So you could go for a short sell. That's a very short trade. And then we will see if they still retest the top, right? So one short trade, and then you might get a reverse to the top again, because it's kind of in a very complex B wave here right now, right? If you put it like this, it's in a complex B wave structure. So you get a sell setup, come down, one small trade, and then up. Oil, we tagged the low. So the questions are we reversing now, right? Let's look at oil. So we made a flag here. They made that corrective structure. They tagged the low. Is that reversing for the upside, or are we just making more consolidation and drop? Let's go look at it on a 4-hour and 1 hour. If they break here, sell. If you go up and make a flag, buy, right? Because we don't know if this is the end of it. That could be the end of the structure, because you have 1, you have 2, you have 3. Right, that could be the end of the structure, but sometimes you will just get this as a complex one, come back here, tag the top, and then drop. We'll get this. So you can get both trades here now, but you have to wait for the setups for any one of them. So if you're one of those person who think that, hey, it gets us both ways, what I'm saying to you is if you get a buy setup, wait for that consolidation. Only then you take the trade. To the downside, they have to break that low before you get a sell. Right? I hope that simple explanation is enough for you to learn, even if you don't know pattern. You don't have to know pattern to understand what I'm saying. You get a flag like that, see that was a sell setup. You get a flag here, that's a buy. It reverses very strong beyond this low, that's a sell setup. Now that's simple, right? I think that's as simple as I can put it. And I hope everybody understands that. I'm not saying you buy or you sell now, because none of those will be correct. If you buy now, you could be wrong. If you sell now, you could be wrong. Because from where it is, both sides possible. We have broken the low. Until we broke that low, that was a sell. Right? We knew that was a sell because they had to come down back. UK oil, same thing. See, we start putting these here. Sharp drop, up again. They should, very likely you might get upside because this one is looking up, and then we'll see if they drop again, right? Because you're getting a flat here. You get 1, 2, 3, they could come to this level and drop again. So you're getting buy setups here. This one is most likely buy setup than sell. Right? This is telling us very likely you're going to get this one crawling up back to the top there, right? And then we'll see what happens from there. At least they will break this top. If they go break that top, make a bigger correction and drop without getting to that top, but break this top, that'll be a good trade still. So wait for the setup and buy. You don't have a setup to buy. Natural gas. Consolidating. Go for a buy. If it consolidates here, go for the buy. They'll probably break the top. S&P 500. So is it the start of the fall? We can't confirm the start of the fall as yet, because there could be they could still go up and tag the top, but this thing is going to fall. So let me just put an arrow here and leave it for you. It's either going to do it from here or it's going to do it from the top. I'll put it from the top. If you get a sell setup, definitely take it. If you get a sell setup here, you absolutely have to take it, because this trade is going to happen. If they crawl up to the upside and you get buy setups like this buy setup, like I said, you can take it, put it to break even. That either you took out the profit or you got a break even trade. You get another buy setup, the same thing. It could be another sharp move to the upside. They can do this again, climb, and then straight down. I don't think that far, sorry. It should be somewhere in here. We're not expecting the down move to break that low. But you got the point, right? So watch it. Next, let's see. Good. So this one was a sell. I think this one was easy. You saw that pattern where it broke out slightly to the upside, which is what we expect this piece to do. Break out slightly, start to fall. That's your sell setup. You still think there's more sell in this. You can still get more sell. So we're expecting them to come back. So you get another flag there, sell it. Wait for the flag, sell it. Nifty. More up, move your stops. If you're in the buy, move your stops. I don't see buy setup there anymore. Move your stops now. Let's go do Bitcoin. I'm not doing all of them because we're running out of time. And let me show you the Bitcoin pattern we're looking at. So Bitcoin started to go up and we're looking for this to make 1, 2, 3. And the B wave just made 1, 2, 3. They start coming down. We saw that here. So there were sell setups for my traders. Watch it to tag this low and then do that. It's still going to go back up. Let me put that line. But it's going to go back from somewhere here. And then you will get the downside. So this up move here, this is going to come down here some more. You're going to probably break that low, come down some more because you're looking at 1, 2, 3. And then you might go up. It might not be that fast, but this one might be a very, very slow, long, drawn out one before you get 1, 2, 3, and then you get the next up one. So that next one is not coming within the next year or 2 or 3. So congratulations if you bought the 29 and you're waiting for it to go back up. You have a very long wait. Right? That is what they pump and dump, right? That is like what they like to call it, pump it and dump it. Catch all the fools at the top and then dump it on them. Well, you're dumped. So you might see 4,000, you might even see 2,000 when this finished. So first you're going to go up. So if you get a chance and you bought at 11,000 or 10,000, you might get a chance to exit and say, hey, thank you, I'm gone, right? If you didn't, if you bought higher, you will have to cut and lose because as soon as this starts to turn, you may want to cut, right? So watch this, it's a little more down. This is not the fall. This is not the end of the world for you, right? Because it's going to go back up. As soon as everybody thinks it's the end of the world, it's going to go back up. So watch it, right? And no moving average is holding it. Remember that 200 moving averages is holding it and it's going to go back up. It's coming down back. So it's going to break the moving average now. I can tell you that for sure. If it didn't break the 200 moving average already, it's going to break it because it's making a specific pattern and that has nothing to do with the moving averages, right? The patterns they're making, the patterns we can see now, tells us what it's going to do, right? No, we are already 1 hour, 10 minutes into the webinar. We cannot make it more long. It's for YouTube. You don't find a lot of webinars that long. It's not really good to make them that long. So I would probably end the webinar at this one, but here's what we can do again for all of you. Maybe this week I can do another special webinar. We can pick one pair. And like I pick all the majors, we can either pick all the pound pairs or all the euro pairs, whichever you guys want, and we can look at them, right? Long term, short term, like I did with it. If you guys are up for that, I don't know. We have to put out the poll somewhere for that for you to tell me, right? If you're up for it. I guess most of you would want it. So somewhere Wednesday, Thursday, I'll probably do one of that. So when we come in, I will not. When we come in, those who come to that webinar will select which one we do. It's either going to be all the euro pair, all the yen pair, whichever. So you decide that if you're going to come to the webinar when I post it. In the webinar, we will put the poll as to which pair we're going to do, right? So we'll select a number of them, and then you will choose which one we do, all of them. So see all of you. Take care. Have a good weekend. If you still have time for your weekend, have a good weekend. Trade with care next week. Ignore the noise. Don't buy signals. Let me repeat that again. Don't buy signals. If you're interested in the course, you know my Skype. Please send me on Skype, not on Facebook. Send me the message on Skype. And if you guys can pass this message on, because a lot of people are sending me on Facebook, and I really don't like to put messages all over the place. Right? So let me type my Skype here. It's too big. Let me make it like this. MANGAL 457. Send me a Skype message and you'll get all the details. Please help share these webinars because they will help some trader who is buying signals now, losing his money, very confused, don't know what to do, right? At least he's going to learn something. One, he's going to learn is don't buy signals. They don't help you. Learn to trade. If you want to be a successful trader, you have to learn to trade, right? Forget about the signals. So everybody, 457 and share the message around. Take care. Thank you for coming. Have a good weekend. See all of you.